Woohoo! Good morning. Well, we are Monday morning. It is a beautiful day. We are in Davis Junction, Illinois. Hey man, we have had a great weekend. Cannot complain. I think we didn't get any miles. Cannot complain. Anyway, we are at a landfill. So, where do we start? Let's start on how my miles have been in 2 weeks. How's that? I was off my truck for a week, and I got back on my truck on a Wednesday 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. And I got a load pretty quick. Picking up in Mount Pleasant and going to Cincinnati area, 2 stops. And I've done that load, I can't tell you how many times I've done it, probably 6 times. It's a really nice load, easy. Has to be tarped, not a big deal. And it was supposed to drop on a Friday. I was able to get to the first stop on Thursday, got it unloaded, and I drove this 12 miles to the other one, and I could not get unloaded, which I knew. Like I said, I've done that run 6 times, so I knew the routine. Anyway, I parked right in front of the gate, got up at 6:30, and 7 o'clock they opened the gate, and by 7:30 they had me unloaded, and I creeped out of there down the street, a little pull off, and sat there for probably 45 minutes to an hour. And I got my weekend load, which was picking up at Kone, which if anybody is from Milton listening to this probably knows about Kone. It's elevator stuff, and it's usually a pain in the butt, and it's usually going downtown somewhere. So it was going south of Miami to some town south of Miami. And it was only going to give me like 2,100 miles for the week. But again, I started on Wednesday, so I wasn't too concerned about those miles. I figured that was pretty good for 2 runs. So, as I was putting in all my information, my DM texted me. She said, "Hey, do you want to?" She goes, "I know you're going to sunny Florida, but would you like to get more miles and go to Phoenix, Arizona?" I was like, "Yes, I would." So she said, "Okay, we're going to do a repower." And I went and picked up that Kone load and then drove like 160 miles farther east to Cambridge, I think it was, Ohio, to the worst pilot I've ever been to do a repower. Oh my gosh. That place was tiny, congested. It was a pain. I don't recommend that as a repower place. Anyway, I repowered with the kid, and I took that load to Phoenix. It was delivered on Tuesday, but I knew I could get it there on Monday. So I took off. I drove until about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and then I on Saturday got up and I drove about over 600 miles to our Tulsa terminal and spent the night. And so my goal on Sunday was to drive over 700 miles. So I got up early and I drove from our Tulsa terminal to exit 108 in New Mexico. If you want to look it up, that's the Dancing Eagle Casino and truck stop over there. And that's where I parked, 716 miles. I ran. The load I had was very light. It was a great load. And I ran all the way there, parked there on Sunday, and then got up early Monday morning, and I rolled into Phoenix about just before 8 o'clock and was able to get unloaded. And then I drove over to the Flying J over there in town, about 9 miles from where I dropped, and parked. So for 6 days worth of work, basically, I started on Wednesday and I was finished on Monday. I had over 3,100 miles, so I cannot complain whatsoever. Probably the most miles I've ever gotten in that short of time period, I'd say. And then I sat for, I don't know, I sat for I think an hour or two, I can't remember, it was a while. And they sent me for this week that just ended, they sent me to the Miami mines up there in Arizona, and to pick up copper, which I've done that several times. There's like 3 mines in Arizona that we pick up at that I know of. Could be more, but I know of 3 that I have been at. And picked up. It was only going to El Paso, so it was a very short run. I think total miles with Deadhead was like a little over 400. No, nothing exciting, but it was Monday, so I wasn't too worried about it. And then, so I got out there, picked that load up, and I got it to, and I delivered it there in El Paso on Tuesday. And whenever you deliver in El Paso, you're basically heading over to the our El Paso terminal to talk to Aaron. He's the terminal manager there, to figure out your next load, right? And usually you pick up loads out of the yard. But I'll tell you what, this year it's been pretty bad. There's never any loads out there, and those loads kind of suck, to be honest with you. They're molding from Mexico, so they're tall, they're cumbersome, and you gotta tarp them, and they're 3 tarps. They're a pain in the butt. And so Aaron, he didn't have anything out there. He said, you know, I've got these 3 loads coming in, but they're not like, they're like Tuesday and Wednesday drops in. I don't know when they're gonna come in. And I was like, man, I want to roll now. He goes, well, I've got copper at our New Mexico mine. I didn't know we picked up copper in New Mexico. That was my first time going to that one. He goes, and you got 2 choices, Denton, Texas or McKinney, Texas. I said, I'll take McKinney. Why McKinney? Because McKinney, where we drop, which I've done that one before, is like less than 25 miles from where I live. I said, so I figured if I wasn't going to get a load right away, I could go have breakfast over at with my parents. So I said, I'll take that McKinney one. He said, all right. So I took off Tuesday up to the mine there in McKinney. It was about 180 miles up to it. And I got there and parked like just down the street from it. You couldn't park on it. And I parked there, and God, man, it was beautiful. It kind of snowed just a little bit. Nothing that stuck to the ground, but it was perfect. I haven't seen that many stars at night in a long time. But anyway, I spent the night there, got up early in the morning, drove over and got that load of copper and got out of there. I was running on recap, so that day was my worst day. I only had 3 hours left, so I hauled butt, and I was able to park in Clinton, Texas, which is just east of El Paso. So I was able to get through El Paso. There's a 1-9 there, and hey, let me just say this: if you ever get there, right next door to it is a restaurant called Mamacita's. Oh my gosh, some of the best tacos around. Mamacita's. Go over there, walk your happy little butt over there. It's not that far. I was the only gringo in there, so you know they're good. And so anyway, then took off, and I only had 9 hours to run, so I knew I couldn't get all the way to McKinney on Wednesday. Parked about parked, and on Thursday morning got up early because I know that McKinney operation, another reason why I took that McKinney is it's not an appointment one. It's 24/7. So I could have got there at midnight and they would have unloaded me, but the Denton one is appointment only. So I did not want that. So I got there at 5 o'clock in the morning, got unloaded, and drove over to where I parked my truck when I'm on home time. And my parents came and picked me up, took me back to the house, and my mom made me breakfast. But she didn't have to do that. I was going to make breakfast. She said, "Nah, I got it." So, made breakfast, and I literally got done. I probably ate the last bite, and literally got done with breakfast, and I got this load. And to be honest with you, I was disappointed in it because there's no miles in it. I mean, I'm only getting like less than 900 miles for the weekend load, and that's not what you're supposed to get. You know, Milton tells you, yeah, your Monday, Tuesdays are kind of short runs, and then you get a long weekend load, so they don't have to mess with you, and you drive, right? But I'm telling you right now, it's not that good. I'm telling you right now, it's not the first time in a while, so I'm just telling you right now. But anyway, I didn't argue, I didn't complain. I accepted the load, went down to Texarkana and picked this up. Got there about 11 o'clock. My appointment was 11:30. Rolled in there. Oh my gosh, that place looked deserted. It looked like something bombed out of World War II. And these two guys popped out of a building and said, "Yep, back right here. We'll load you." So, anyway, got loaded, got secured, tarped, and I ran up to Little Rock, Arkansas, to my fuel stop that Loves, and parked, and went fueled. I actually didn't fuel. I parked facing the fuel island. So in the morning I got up and I decided I was going to get up a little early and run, because at first I thought I was going to run all the way here and do a 34, but I don't need a 34. I have good hours coming back, and I just didn't feel like I needed to run that hard for 900 mile, less than 900 mile run. Just didn't make any sense to me. So I got up and I ran up to St. Louis, parked at the Loves there, and got there like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I went and rode my bike over to the Arch. I did not go inside because I didn't want my bike to get stolen, so and then slept in. Next morning I got up around 5:30. Got rolling. I decided that 5 miles from where we're at is a Loves, so I thought, okay, I'm just gonna stay at that Loves. And on my way, I just decided to get the truck and trailer washed at a Blue Beacon, which was 12 miles from where we're at. So I drove up there, got there. Man, I was there. It was the quickest I've ever been there. I was in and out in less than an hour, which usually you got a long ass line. It takes you an hour just to get in and get clean, washed. So anyway, I got that done, and I got here. I got to that Loves and parked, and got my bike out again, and And I decided to ride over here and check this out. So I rode over here 5 miles and checked it out. And then I found that there's there's a bike trail system, mountain biking and stuff, over like 5 miles from here. So I rode over there. Man, whoa, what an awesome day out there riding. Anyway, I rode. They got so much. There's so much there to see and do, and I didn't even do it all. There's one loop that was like a mile loop. That loop was fun. I must have did that loop 5 times, then found other loops and did that. Man, it was fun. It was fun. So, got back to my truck about 6 o'clock last night and got everything put up and showered and made some chicken and done. Now, my appointment for this morning was 9 o'clock for some reason. But I was looking at everything and 9 o'clock just didn't make any sense to me, quite honestly. What's going on here? And I decided, you know what? I'm coming in early. Oh, I got hung up. I'm coming in early. So they didn't start till 7, so I rolled in here right at 7. Had to find the right person that was going to unload me and stuff. Took a little bit. Made some phone calls. And here we are. Now, how many miles is this for the week? It's only like 2,100 miles. Again, I'm not really happy about that, but it's part of trucking. And if you're gonna come to trucking, be prepared to be disappointed sometimes. And I don't care if it's Milton, Prime, TMC, whatever. And we're talking over the road. Listen, if you're a day driver or whatever, you know what you're getting. But one reason why you go to OTR, because you're gonna get more miles, you're gonna run, right? Well, let me just say this. I have not been really running really well at all. There's no miles. It's a good week like last week, and then you got a shitty week this week, and I have no idea what's in store for me this week. I'm hoping for a better week, but my DM is on vacation, so there's no one to, if I at the end of the week I have no miles, there's nobody to complain to. There's nobody. So, and whoever the DM is, I don't even know who's in charge. Doesn't know me, doesn't know how I run or like to run or whatever. And to be honest with you, and I'm not saying this rude, they don't really care. And it's not because, it's just that's not what they're there. They're covering a shift, So their job is cover the shift. They don't, like I said, they don't know me. They don't want to know me. It's not that big of a deal. And it's just how it goes sometimes. But if somebody told you, hey, OTR, you're gonna make all this money, man. I make thousands and thousands of miles every week. I never sit. They're lying to you. They're flat lying to you, okay? But yes, you can make some good miles, and yes, you're gonna make crappy miles. And that's just how the game goes. So you need to figure out how to make the best of it. And that's where my bike, or getting out of my truck and doing things, comes into play. So I'm not gonna sit in my truck all weekend and be mad that I only drove 700 miles, didn't get any miles, and complain. All that's going to do is just frustrate you to no end. So, if Milton or the company you're with isn't working out, then figure out what else you want to do and do that, whether it's doing something else or going to another company or whatever. You just got to figure it out. But right now, freight is terrible. And no matter how often Milton or anybody says, well, March is going to look different, is looking up compared to February. Yeah, okay. Well, at the end of the day, March looked exactly the same as February. And here we are halfway through April, and April is looking like March. So, one thing about Milton is they're a raw company, meaning they pump you up, you know, and that's okay. I'm good with that, but they don't really tell you the truth, and that's fine. It's business, man. It's business. You know what I mean? It's business. So, business. But I don't want to sound like I'm not happy with Milton or whatever. It's not that at all. It's just reality. And you need a reality check. And that reality check is you come to work for Milton or another company and be prepared to sit. Like right now, I don't even have a load for next. I have no idea if I got a load. More than likely I don't. So as soon as I put my empty call in, I am driving straight to that truck stop, and I'll wait about an hour. If I don't get a load, I'll go ride my bike, and I'll be an hour away from my truck. And if they give me a load and I can't make the load appointment, I'll let them know they need to change that load appointment. Because I'm just not going to sit and do nothing. Because the thing is, I'm not getting paid by Milton at that moment. Milton isn't paying me, right? So I'm on my time at that point. That's how I look at it. It's my time. My time is there. So if my time is go do something to enjoy myself, well, that's what we're gonna do. All right. Oh, that is what we're gonna do. These things are bags. They weigh about 1,000 pounds. The whole load was 24,000. I didn't even scale it. But you got to put 2 on the front, one on each stack or whatever you want to call it. And then I X-strapped both the front and the back. Tighten it. Keep it from doing anything. So we had 19 straps on this sucker. Now, this thing just, while you drive, just gets loose. It just stays loose. And there's only so much tightening. You really don't have to crank down. You don't really want to rip the bags, but you're not going to rip these bags. They're pretty strong bags, but at some point, you don't tighten anymore. So you can check them, but you don't tighten anymore. So yesterday, driving 300 plus miles, I didn't even put the load bar to anything. let's see, on yesterday was on Saturday driving. I drove like 300 miles as well. So I think when I did my fuel stop or whatever, I checked it. But you got them done right and everything, they're not going anywhere. And don't drive like a maniac either. That helps too. That helps as well. But I just want to clear, I am not unhappy with Milton. I think Milton is a great company, and I'm very happy with my DM and everything. But the reality is, I'm in trucking, and there isn't a whole lot going on in trucking as far as miles go. So, and no amount of rah-ing is going to get me more miles, okay? But what other positive things do I like about Milton? Well, they give you good equipment. I mean, my truck, inverter, refrigerator, set up for a TV, leather seats, whatever you want to call them. Really nice curtains. So my truck is really nice. Keeps it, they allow you to get your truck washed at a Blue Beacon like, I don't know, like every 3 weeks or whatever. And so you keep your truck clean, have pride in your work and stuff like that, and it all works out, right? And the other thing is really the benefits. Now, keep in mind, I'm not young anymore. I'm 61. When I was young, in my 20s, health insurance, never thought about health insurance, I never needed it. The only things I did was really went to the dentist, got my teeth cleaned or whatever, and but I really had no real need for health because I was healthy. But this year or last year proved otherwise, right? So I needed health insurance. I mean, I don't know if I haven't looked at the final bills of what all costs, but one exploratory procedure, one open heart procedure, 2 ER visits for a total of 7 days in the ER, and then 2 ablations. My medical expenses are over $500,000, but that's not to me. So I'm really not out a whole lot of money, to be quite honest with you. I had to spend $4,000, and the only reason why I spent $4,000 is because I did everything out of network. So I was gonna pay for that, and that's okay. But man, my drugs, geez, the amount of different drugs I had to take and everything. Whew. My copays on those were nothing. Some of them were free. I think my Eliquis, to buy that, is like, for 60 pills is like $200, and that's only 30 days. I haven't paid for any of that. So, insurance plays a big part in why I'm here. I get paid well. I get paid well. Milton pays me well, so I can't complain about that either. And I'm happy where I'm at. Well, let me just say this. Milton's not for everybody. I'm going to tell you that right now. Milton is not for everybody. They will, trucking is not for everybody, okay? If you don't know how to be by yourself, if you're not happy, if you're not comfortable being in your truck by yourself, well, you probably shouldn't be doing this. And also, if you can't make decisions out on the road without calling somebody to ask for help or whatever, this probably isn't for you. It's probably not for you because your DM isn't gonna save you all the time. And also, your DM might put you on the list of all their problems. Today's Monday. Who knows how many truck driver problems there are today? So you could be last on the list to get your problem solved while you sit there and wait. And I'm not talking about broke down or anything. I'm talking about stuff, like this place, for instance. The first phone number I called, nobody answered. So what was I going to do? Call my DM and text my DM and say, hey, nobody's answering. Well, what are they going to do for me? Luckily, the guy called me back, but if you can't do things, figure out things on your own out here, you're not going to work. Also, trucking is tough. No matter how much Milton is a rah-rah company and smiles at you and says thank you truck drivers and everything, it's still a company that expects you to do the job, do it professionally, that type of situation, and they'll fire you smile at you just as quick as they smile at you. It's just how it goes, man. So if you're gonna get your feelings hurt, this is not it. I mean, listen, there are people in the office at Milton, all companies, they don't like truck drivers. They don't understand this. And listen, a lot of it is brought on by truck drivers, man. Truck drivers can be demanding about things, think they are owed things. I'm not owed nothing, man. I'm not owed nothing. So I just need to do my job. But I mean, there are people that will, well, I'm not gonna say anymore, but you just know that if your feelings are gonna get hurt, this is not for you, I promise you. Figure out something else to do, because you're gonna get your feelings hurt a lot. If you don't know how to laugh, don't know how to just roll with it, and you better go somewhere else, I'm telling you. Hurry up here. I'm trying to help out, let him get unloaded, because he's got to take them off and he's got to take them way down there. So each pallet's going to take a little bit longer than just pulling them off my truck, which is fine. So I just, other than rolling up my tarps, because I had nowhere to just keep them, because I couldn't do them right. I did them right here, but you know, I couldn't have just left them there. So I rolled those up, but everything else pretty much actually is sitting. So, well, we'll roll straps and pick up, put things up while he's taking pallets off. I want to get out of here. But listen, I hope I didn't sound negative towards Milton or trucking. It's just that you just gotta have your plan. Gotta have the plan. And I don't know how you people do it with kids and wives and girlfriends or whatnot. Demanding, you know, they're demanding of your time, which, hey, it's what it's supposed to be about, right? So I don't know how you do it. And for those that make it work, I applaud you. But I'm a lucky guy, to be honest with you, because I didn't start doing trucking. You know, I've been doing this now almost 6 years, almost 5 with Milton. So, and I'm not married and I don't have kids, so this stuff is easy for me. All I gotta do is worry about me, and I do that pretty good. But you know, I just don't worry about it. And I'm not gonna, I don't know how long I'm gonna do trucking. I don't know. I'm still enjoying it. And I haven't made that plan as to what I want to do when I'm done. I don't even know where I want to live anymore. I've been a very fortunate person. You know, I have lived in every time zone in the lower 48. So, lived in California on the beach, lived in the mountains of Colorado, snowboarded. I can't even tell you how much I snowboarded each season. So, maybe I get me a condo in the mountains somewhere. I don't know. And ski some more. Next year I think I want to ski more. Or snowboard, I should say. I don't know. So, when I got into trucking, I sold everything. Everything I had, man. I didn't need it anymore. Sold my condo, sold everything. So, and I don't spend a whole lot of money. I don't own a vehicle. It's the closest thing to a vehicle I own right there. I don't need a vehicle. I do have one. I should clarify. I do own one vehicle. I have a 1970 Corvette that I've owned since I was a kid. I can't tell you how many times I've restored that thing. Haven't driven it in years. But my biggest expense right now is a freaking cell phone bill. And I'm happy that way. So, you know, so not getting a whole lot of miles is not affecting me paying a bill or something. My house isn't going to get repoed tomorrow because I don't have one anymore. So, but if you're out there buying a bunch of stuff that, one, you can't afford, or two, you never see because you're out here on the road trying to pay for them, you might want to rethink some things.